It is now time for the Austin Hour with your host, Jim Austin.
Hi, welcome back to the Austin Hour. I'm Jim Austin, and we had two great guests on the first half of the show, and we're going to keep it going on. I mean, I'm really excited about this gentleman here because we're friends. We have a relationship. We have history. And from the day I met him, he's been picking on me. So hopefully he's not going to pick on me today. But I'm here with the notable Kenn with two N's, Scott. How you doing, buddy?
Jim, it's always good to see you. And I only pick on you because it's like pulling a girl's pigtails. It's only because I like you.
Okay. I was wondering about that because from the day we met, there was like a kinship and friendship.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got an unbelievable history in the past, and I'm excited about maybe working with you one day in the future. I know you gave me a business plan. And
an award-winning business plan, Jim.
Award-winning. And I carried it around, and you called me up and you said, Jim, can I get my business plan back? So I felt that someone was going to show up at my doorstep to get that plan back, and that's why I got it back to you. But, you know, tell us about this Ninja Turtle, gig that you had, man, because I grew up on Ninja Turtle, and there's every kid in America has probably heard of Ninja Turtle. And let's talk about that, because
I played Raphael, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, in the first two Ninja Turtle movies. Number 1 and then number 2, The Secret of Use. And basically, it was born out of a lifelong dream I had to be an action hero in the movies.
Yes, sir.
I had started studying martial arts back when I was 12 years old. And my dad used to take me to the movies. We'd go see Chuck Norris movies and Arnold Schwarzenegger and just Steven Seagal, whatever was going on, even Jackie Chan movies and stuff from overseas. And as a young martial artist, I sat there and I looked at that screen and I saw these guys beating up the bad guys and everything, and I thought, man, that's what I want to do.
Yes.
I want to be an action hero. So I started putting my efforts behind that. I did everything I could to learn about the film business, and this is before the internet. So I was watching documentaries on PBS. I was going to the library and searching through a card catalog. Not a lot of kids know what that is today.
Yeah.
But I was doing everything I could to learn about the film business. I signed up for acting classes, and ultimately, I believe in the law of attraction. You put stuff out there and stuff comes back to you. Well, I was working so hard to try to be an action hero in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is where I was growing up, that all of a sudden, they built a movie studio in North Carolina, in Wilmington. Dino De Laurentiis, the Italian film producer, set up a studio in Wilmington, and they shot a lot of low-budget movies there. They shot Firestarter with Drew Barrymore and Maximum Overdrive with Emilio Estevez, even Raw Deal with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which has one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger lines of all times, which is, "You shouldn't drink and bake." Anyway, so they built this movie studio there, so I wanted to break in the movies. So my summers, I used to drive down there in between high school and college and just try to work as an extra or break in the business any way I could break in. But it's hard. It's not easy to break in the movie business. And there's a movie studio down there, and they're surrounded by a fence. And a movie studio is basically kind of like Fort Knox. They don't want anybody in there that's not supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
Now, granted, this was all pre-9/11, so security is not what it is today in places, but there's still a security guard at the front gate, and if you don't have permission to go in, you're not getting in. I knew that all my dreams lay on the other side of that gate, somehow, of that movie studio.
Wow.
So I went and got myself a Domino's pizza delivery uniform. I got a couple boxes.
No.
Yeah. And I got my nerves together, I put on my Domino's pizza delivery hat, and I drove up to that guard shack, and I was shaking, and I was like, guy said, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I've got a delivery for production. Not knowing what was going on, not knowing if anybody was on the movie lot. So the guard looked at his clipboard, and he looked at me, and I'm sweating out of the side of my little... And then he goes, okay, just drive through back here, turn right and go over there, park, you'll find them on the back lot. So he raised the gate, I drove right on by him, scooted around, found the parking lot. I'm quaking with excitement. As soon as I park, I take off my pizza delivery uniform and I just put on my jacket and I step out and walk around the corner, and on the back lot of this movie studio, they're filming an action movie. Car chases, gunshots, the whole thing, and I'm in heaven. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is it, this is awesome. So I kind of faded into the background a little while, hung out there for a little bit, eventually met the people that were in charge of hiring extras, the background performers for movies.
Whoa.
Got to talking to them. They found out that I was a martial artist. Started talking to them about what I wanted to do, and they said, hey, we've got this movie coming pretty soon called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this was before anybody in the country really knew too much about Ninja Turtles. I hadn't known about them because they started in '85. This is about '88 now. And they needed people to audition to play the bad guys in the movies. So anyway, to make a long story just a little bit longer, I ended up coming back, auditioned for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, got hired to play one of the bad guys in the movies, and then very early in the filming, the guy that was playing Raphael got hurt and couldn't be the turtle anymore. They needed somebody to replace him. And I had the right martial arts skills, and more importantly, I was the right height. I was appropriate turtle height. And so I fit into the turtle costume, and then I became Raphael for the next 2 movies. And here we are. And now I get to talk to Jim Austin.
Man, you know, I mean, you're probably going to take my ratings through the roof, you know, with that story, because we're going to push that on Facebook. Hi, everybody out there in Facebook land. We want, so excited to have my friend, and I don't say that lightly, my friend, you know, Kenn Scott with 2 N's here on the Austin Hour. Man, that's a tremendous story. You know, it's a connection. Maybe, you know, I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina.
I did not know that,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. Memorial Hospital, May 16, 1951. Got a birthday coming up, fans.
See, we both have May birthdays coming up. We're both Taurians.
Oh, when's your birthday?
May 3rd.
May 3rd. Let's have a party.
Let's do it.
Okay.
How about the Austin Event Center?
Hey, you took the words right out of my mouth, you know? The Austin Event Center.
I can't imagine a better place to go do it.
Me either.
Yeah.
Me either. Hey, I didn't set that up. But, man, that's a tremendous story, brother. You know, so God was on your side that you got in that door. And what you did sound like something I would have done as a kid also.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons you and I kind of connected so much. You know, I see you as a guy who makes things happen. You figure out what it is that you want. You go after it. You're not afraid to take risks or kind of do things outside the box a little bit. So you remind me a lot of people that I know from Los Angeles that are in the film business, because it takes prospectors and risk takers to go out there and make movies happen and TV and stuff like that. So when you and I kind of started talking, we had that connection, and it's been great ever since.
Yeah, it really has. And I know Ninja Turtles, they did a few more movies came out, and the conversation. I mean, when you mention Ninja Turtle, people get excited.
Yeah, I mean, for me to be part of something that sort of swept over the world, it's been a great opportunity. It's a great conversation piece, obviously, when people find out, because they don't know from looking at me, right? But when they do find out, it's a great thing to talk about. And more importantly, what it's really allowed me to do is, after doing the first 2 movies, I did not do the 3rd Ninja Turtle movie. I actually went on and starred in another movie called Showdown, where I got to play a human being. And I starred opposite Billy Blanks, the founder of Taibo.
Yes.
Basically, Showdown was a ripoff of Karate Kid. I was Ralph Macchio, and Billy Blanks was my Mr. Miyagi. But after doing the Ninja Turtle movies, because they were so famous, what it's really allowed me to do is go to a lot of different charitable events. I do a lot of work with Wounded Warriors and children's charities and stuff like that. And so to be able to go to those events and use my low level of celebrity to sort of get involved and try to raise house here in Fort Worth or working with the Wounded Warriors or anything like that. Not only was it fun and it was great for me in my career, but to have that now 25, 30 years later still be helping and help me do that in the world, it's been fantastic.
Man, that's powerful, because every person in America or the world has heard about the Ninja Turtles. So your story of getting into the studio and then taking it to the next level. I know you and I are part of the back, and there was a competition that was a year or two ago that you competed in, and I think I heard on the internet that you won it.
Yeah, back in 2015, right after I moved to Fort Worth, I learned that the Business Assistance Center, the BAC, was sponsoring the Fort Worth Business Plan competition. If you were an entrepreneur and you had a business idea, you could enter this contest, and if you got accepted to the contest, you went to all these classes and went through their training program, ultimately had to write a business plan and then pitch it and present it to judges, almost like Shark Tank here in Fort Worth.
Yep.
And back when I was in Los Angeles, I had written an album of children's exercise music, all animal-based. And I just did it in one weekend when I just had this crazy idea. I thought, man, that seems like a pretty good idea. So I wrote it up, I entered the Fort Worth Business Plan competition, I got in, which allowed me to go to all the training programs, went to the training, then did the Shark Tank night, and actually ended up winning first place in the Fort Worth Business Plan competition. So for me, having just moved to Fort Worth, just before that, it was really a great introduction for me to the city. It allowed me to meet a lot of people, including yourself at one point. So yeah, that was just a fantastic experience. And now since then, Zoomies has continued to grow, and we run programs at the Fort Worth Library System and Fort Worth ISD. We work with the Early Childhood Management Services here in Fort Worth. We're now working with two minor television networks, national television networks, producing a television show for Zoomies.
Wow, yeah, Zoomies was that project you wanted me to invest in.
There's still opportunities, Jim.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's open up some discussion about that, for sure, because you mentioned the Business Assistance Center, and I tell my staff all the time, there's like 4 or 5 events that I enjoy going to meet new people. And the Business Assistance Center meets 7:30, I think second or third Thursday, and it's a great place to come out.
7:30 a.m.
And it's a great place to meet folks. So I'm planning to go over there in a few days and take my staff with me. But they're doing great things to help people build their business and their plans. Now, what are you doing now? What is your project now? I know you won the competition and you're working with the libraries and all. What is your latest project?
Well, I'm like so many people that come out of the entertainment industry, I consider myself a multi-industrialist.
Yes.
Basically, for the last 20 years, I've worked in marketing and advertising. I was the creative director of an advertising agency out in Los Angeles for a while. Actually worked with an agency. We had a commercial that ran during the Super Bowl. We were the first internet-based company to advertise during the Super Bowl in 1997 with autobytel.com. So I moved here to Fort Worth, and I now am a marketing consultant and chief strategist for Rethink Creative, which is an agency here in town. I'm a partner in that agency. At the same time, though, I'm producing the Zoomies TV show. As a matter of fact, today we're getting together with the designers and looking at the animals and some of the backgrounds for the show. We've got a couple of other television shows in development with the 2 television networks that we talked about. I'm currently getting my master's degree, which I'll finish this summer, in education here at Tarleton State University, which helps me in my children's enrichment programs, as well as helps me be a better marketing consultant because it allows me to teach business owners better, since I understand education. And I'm writing a book called Confessions of a Ninja Turtle. And it's the story of how I was bullied a little bit as a kid, and that brought me into taking martial arts, and that started my journey where I eventually became Raphael, and the whole thing going on. So there's a big fan base out there for turtles as well as all other comic kind of stuff. So if you've never been to a Comic-Con or comic convention anywhere, I go to those several times a year throughout the country and around the world and meet the fans, and we get to hang out and take pictures and all that kind of stuff. So nobody's ever put out a book like that before about what went on in the movies and stuff like that. So I'm putting together my perspective of it, and I'm gonna give that out. Hopefully, finish it by the end of this year. I'm about 68,000 words into it. 50 was my minimum, and then outside of that, I try to exercise as much as possible, work out, and then this week I'm going to Tillamook, Oregon to go to a Comic-Con, hang out. And then I go to Mexico City in August. I'm excited about that.
Wow. I'm going to Seattle in August.
Oh, I've never been to Seattle. I'd like to go there.
Yeah, just going to go hang out and chill, okay? But this is some good stuff, and I told you I want to do something with you, you know.
Well, here, we're doing this right now.
Well,
let's keep it rolling.
Let's keep it rolling. So let's take the Austin Event Center and do something for kids.
Okay.
Okay? I think you and I are both kid-based in making sure that we give back and make sure they stay healthy. Tell us how to reach you and your website and numbers or whatever you wanted to tell us.
Basically, if anybody wants to reach out, I get my easiest email is ken@kennscott.net. It's KENN @KENNSCOTT.net. Super easy to remember. Outside of that, you can visit our agency at rethinkcreative.org, and I'm available on Facebook at Kenn Scott-Raphael.
And don't forget, it's Ken with 2 N's. And if you know someone that has 2 N's in their Ken, would you please email me and give me a shout out? Because when I met him, that opened the door to let me know this brother was original and all. So I have enjoyed having conversation. I always look forward to seeing you. When I walk in the room and you're in the room, it just gives me an excitement. I'm so glad that things are working out for you and going your way. We're here on the Austin Hour, which we try to bring you programs that you didn't know anything about that might change your life and make your life better. Can you give a shout out as to some knowledge or recommendation you would give to kids that are today that might hear this show? Or parents?
You know, I would just say, for the most part, I'm going to stick with my Zoomies motif, which is all about fighting childhood obesity.
Yeah.
And childhood obesity has doubled in this country in the past 30 years. But one of those causes is that kids today spend an average of 7 to 7.5 hours looking at digital screens. That's twice what it was. So get your kids off the screens and get them active.
Thank you, Ken. This has been a great segment of the Austin Hour. I want you to reach out and go to my Facebook, Jim Austin Online. Listen to my radio station, Jim Austin Online. Go to your app, download it. It has been a great time. Enjoyed being with you. Thank you very much, Ken.
Thank you, Jim.